How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Hello, and welcome back to Mystery Inc. My name is Richie, and today we are talking about Fear Street, very briefly. So I've currently been on a mission to collect, read, review, and rank every Goosebumps, Nancy Drew, and Hardy Boys book written. But another series that I've been interested in checking out for a very long time, ever since I heard about its existence, is Fear Street. That's because it's the other big R.L. Stine series, and obviously Goosebumps was such a big part of my childhood growing up. Fear Street, I guess, was coming out around the same time as some of the early Goosebumps books, but the series was really over by 1997, and I didn't even get into Goosebumps until the year 2000. And so I decided recently that I was going to pick up just a couple of these books and give them a try. And I want to read at least 5 of them. I think that's probably a fair thing to do to test the series and see if I'm actually going to enjoy it. When it comes to horror in general, I've never really been a big fan of the genre, I guess you could say. I love mysteries. I love supernatural stories, like things about ghosts, vampires, werewolves, the whole lot, which is why I always really loved Goosebumps and, other things like that. And from what I understand with Fear Street, there is some of that in some of the stories, but the vast majority of it is more like your slasher flicks kind of thing, which is not something that I enjoy when it comes to horror. I like psychological horror, I like monsters, I like ghosts. Not big on the whole serial killer thing. So I watched someone else's video going through the entire franchise, very briefly talking about the books and just showing them off. And that was it Cameron Chaney, I think. And then I also watched a couple of videos from Shadyside Library. And the ones that I decided to pick to start out with is I want to read Lights Out and The Secret Bedroom. Lights Out, from what I understand, is this was the first one that had kind of any kind of like graphic violence in it, I guess you could say. I don't really know because, like I said, I haven't read it yet. But I also really love like the camp books from Goosebumps and stuff. So I figured that would be a good one to start out with. And the other one I picked was The Secret Bedroom. And the reason I picked this one is it was described to me as one that's very much a supernatural kind of ghost story. And then I ended up getting a third one as well. 'Cause these three all came in a lot on eBay, and this was Super Chiller, Broken Hearts. So those are the three that I had picked out to read as kind of just like a baseline to see if I'm actually going to enjoy the series and want to read it, beyond just a couple of books. I would like some suggestions, though. Like I said, I want to give this at least 5 books to see if I'm going to enjoy Fear Street or not, and if I want to keep reading it. So, anyone out there who is a fan of the franchise, if you have a suggestion for 2 other books that you think really epitomize what Fear Street is, or that you just think I would enjoy because maybe you enjoyed them as a kid or something like that, let me know. Again, I'm looking for 2 more books to pick up in addition to these 3, just as a baseline. I'm going to start reading Lights Out first, I believe. And it's probably not going to be for a couple of weeks because I'm still working my way through mostly rereading the original 62 Goosebumps books. I've got, I think, 4, maybe 5 left. And then once I get through those, then I'm going to start branching out, reading a couple of the more modern Goosebumps books. I've already read a couple of the first couple Nancy Drews that I want to really sit down and think about and put out some reviews for. And then and talk about Lights Out also. And yeah, so in the meantime, between now and when I get started on the series, if you have any suggestions what other 2 books I should read to see if Fear Street is in fact for me or not, I would really appreciate it. A couple that I've heard good things about that I'm kind of interested in, but I don't know if they're necessarily a good place to start. Or the Halloween Party. I think Wrong Number was another one I've heard about, and Switched. If you think those are good ones, or if you have any other suggestions, let me know. Yeah, I'm probably not going to pick up any of the more rare books that are like 50, $60, something like that, unless I'm really invested in the series. So yeah, that's it. Let me know what you think of Fear Street. Tell me about your experiences, and again, if you have any book suggestions of what I should read for those other 2 books, at least as a starting point to see if I'm going to enjoy the series or not, I'd really appreciate it. For now, thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate you hanging out with me for a few minutes here, and we'll catch you in the next video. Have a nice day.